computer. There we go. Good evening, everyone. It's about 6:03, about 3 minutes after. We had a lot of conversation, a lot of good conversation about taking this test. What I need you to understand is this, okay? If you've taken the practice test, if you've taken the real test, especially if you've taken the real test, because the practice tests are they're half of an old exam. So all the questions that you see in the practice test are questions from previous exams. That's why the practice tests are lovely. But if you've taken the real exam, it is giving you a prescription of what you need to study. And you have to understand that is more powerful than anything in any adult education class that you're going to take. So if you can identify the concepts you need to work on, coupled with the ebook, coupled with Schoology, you work on those areas first. Then what you'll notice is if you work on those areas first and then take a practice test, you'll see your score go from 139 to 155. I'm telling you, I've been doing this long enough. I'm telling you. Now, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not anybody's here's father. I can't tell you what to do. But what I can tell you is if you focus on those weak areas, if you take an actual test and work on those weak areas and practice in Schoology and do that one-on-one, the next time you take a practice test, you're going to be in the 150s. If you're in the 150s, then you say, okay, I'm ready. Let me just focus. Listen, and I understand my practice tests are hard. I know. I purposely make them that way. I purposely want them to shake you up. The reason why I want you to have that to happen is so when you get to your actual test, it doesn't shake you at all. You are ready for every problem, every scenario. You'll say, "Oh, I need to flag that one. That look a little difficult." I want you to have a conscious effort to say and know what problems that give you difficulty, so you know which ones to skip when you take your actual exam. And I don't mean skip them not to answer them. Skip them until you finish the exam and come back to them. That's the most important thing I can tell you right now is you take those practice tests on Schoology that's absolutely free, and you can take each of them up to 5 times. What I do not want you doing is remembering the answers. So if you go back through it and say, oh, that was B, I remember that was B, I'm going to just put B. No. Each problem, I don't care if you take it the first time, the second time, or the fifth time, each problem, you work it all the way out. Why? Because when you work it all the way out, what you're reinforcing is you're seeing it, you're writing it, you're doing it. And what that's doing is that's building your self-esteem and your confidence. So you won't be shaken when you take your exam. That's the most important thing I can tell you. Listen, when I'm telling you from 2015, I'm 100%. That means everybody that has taken the exam has passed it. Now, there may be people who have not passed it, but they didn't work enough to say, okay, I'm gonna take credit or not take credit for that test. But if you work with me, go through that ebook and understand this calculator. Like, for example, if I say right now, how many of you can, with your calculator, find an equation of a line from 2 points? How many right now will say, I know how to use my calculator to find an equation of a line from 2 points? How many people say by affirmation or saying yes? Tell me if you can do that or not.
No, I can't do that.
So that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm telling you the areas that you need. I'm telling you. Now, you don't have to listen. You don't. But I'm telling you, there's certain areas that's on every exam. That's why I made the ebook. So it's 17 lessons, I believe. So if you took 2 days, that's 34 days. Believe me, you will be so prepared to take this test. When you take it, you're going to say, I should have been went through it. Because it's 134 pages, people, oh, that's too long. Oh, my God, this book. Listen, I'm telling you, it'll be the best 1999 that you ever spent in your entire life. I'm guaranteeing you. And guess what? If you don't, if you spend that 1999 and you go through that ebook and you go through those problems and you still fail, I will give you your money back and still help you pass. That's what I'm telling you. Invest in yourself. So you got to sacrifice some time. You got to give me 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's the first thing I say in the book. You got to give me 30 minutes to an hour a day. So if you can't do it every day, okay, every other day, you got to give me an hour and a half to 2 hours then. But you got to sacrifice something. All right, so now let's get started some problems because I could speak about this all day. But again, it's going to take some blood, sweat, and tears. It's going to be it's going to take some times when you feel like crying. It's going to take times when you feel like throwing a calculator across the room. What I'm telling you is, if you go through the ebook lesson by lesson, it will explain most things that you're going to have on this GED exam. Okay, so all right, so what have we been working on that people need some help in?
Functions.
Functions. All right, let me open the study guide.
I took some of the practical exam on Schoology too. I don't know if you checked them out.
Well, if you took them on Schoology, then you should see they should be marked.
Yeah,
they should be marked.
I didn't see it, but I'll check. I'll check though.
When the last time you took it? Recently?
Yeah, over the weekend.
Let me check. I can check right now. Yeah, a whole lot of people took them during the weekend. I think I graded like 40, 50 assessments over the weekend. So, I think I did 8 today already. I already marked 8 today.
Okay, I just got to go check that.
Yeah, it's never going to be more than 48 hours that if you submit an assessment that I won't mark it. And if it does, just send me an email. Mr. Tinsey, did you mark my? Yep. So let me see how many I did today. I marked. Let me see. Since early this morning.
That with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I marked 10 this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yesterday.
How do I connect that with you?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
How do I connect that with you with the Schoology thing? I never set out the account yet. As soon as you said it.
All right. Send me an email to say, Mr. Tins, I need Schoology access.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we said functions, right?
Yes.
All right. What type of question of functions?
I could give you some from the worksheet I got right now.
What's that?
They got W, in parentheses, the letter T.
Hold on. Let me get a blank sheet. And this is what you should be doing as you're doing work throughout the week. If something is giving you problems, you should be having it ready for Monday class or emailing it to me to know, okay, I'm having problems with this. I'm not going to let you go 2, 3, 4 days without learning how to do something. So don't worry. All right, what is it?
It's W. In parentheses, you got the letter T equals -2T plus 1. Find the W, and then another parentheses, -7.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it manually, and I'm going to show you how to do it in the calculator. Listen to what I'm telling you. I need everybody to listen to me right here. The example that he just gave us, you're going to have a problem like this. They're going to say the word function, or you're going to see it in this notation, f of x. So you might see, usually on the GED. In physics, in most textbooks, you'll see WT, WX. On the GED, they're either going to have f of x, g of x, or h of x. Okay? So what that means is that the function, you're gonna evaluate it at that point. So here, when they're telling you W of -7, what they're really telling you is T is equal to -7.
Okay.
And now, once you have that T, all you take is that -7 and you plugging it in right there. Hold on for 1 second. Somebody just tried to join. -7. So all you're doing is, again, the GED, for most intents and purposes, when they tell you to evaluate a function, they're going to give you a word problem. They're going to give you an explicit problem. Here, this is basically explicit. I'm just plugging this in. So -2, T is -7. Since we're multiplying, I put it in parentheses, plus 1. 2 negatives make a positive. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. That's all. That's it. And you're going to see this, I guarantee you. Now I'm going to show you how to do it with the calculator. And it's going to, when I'm going to show you how to do it with the calculator, if you notice, when I did it by hand, I still did this fairly quickly in less than, just a little over a minute and a half. With the calculator, you'll be able to do this in 15 seconds.
Wait.
Okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna show it to you. I showed it to you manually. Took me a little bit over a minute. Now I'm gonna show you with the calculator.
I did.
So let me erase
Oh,
this
I'm
right
sorry.
here. We know the answer is 15, and I want some room, so I'm gonna have to move all this over a little bit. Let me move all this. Let me make it a little bit smaller, and I'm gonna move it over. Don't you love technology? So I can put this calculator right on the screen. So what I'm showing you is, and remember I told you, one of the most important things you need to be able to do with this calculator, certain areas that you need to be able to store a variable and substitute it into a quadratic equation, a regular equation, a function, expression is a skill that's going to be about 4 to 5 problems on your exam. This skill that I'm about to show you, you'll be able to use it for 4 to 5 problems on your exam. Watch this. Okay, watch this. -7 store t. Oops, I went past t. Enter -2t plus 1. Done. That easy.
How you did that?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Oh, what'd you say? How you did? What? That's what I'm
Mr.
trying to tell you.
Tinsley.
I need you to take the 2 weeks to go through this ebook. If you got something riding on this GED math exam, what I'm telling you is you got to sacrifice some time, go through this ebook. I'm going to prepare you for every problem they can possibly give you.
I was trying to figure out how you got the T.
Mr. Tinsley.
Okay, I'm going to show you right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
No, oh, well, I did it, but I just used X because it was there.
Oh, so I can't see. Hold on, let me put
It's
people back on
Sharon.
the screen. Sharon. So what Sharon said was, what you have to understand, it doesn't matter what variable
Yeah,
you use.
yeah, I just used X.
Right. So what you could have did was said, okay, again, they could give you any variable, but guess what? This calculator only has X, Y, Z, A, B, C in the variable T. What if they give you S? What if they give you M? It doesn't matter. You could call MX, you can call whatever you want. So I can do the same thing. I can say -7 store X because it's going to take me less steps to get to the X. And then -2X plus 1. Done.
That's what I did.
15 seconds.
That's what I did.
Look how fast I was able to do 15 seconds. You're going to have to do this same skill 4 to 5 times. If I'm telling you, I can guarantee you to evaluate a function, to evaluate an algebraic expression, for the word problems, you're going to have to be able to store a variable just like we just did. But you got to know when to use it. So you got to jump in that ebook. You got to practice. You got to go over those practice problems. Gotta let my, and then practice. All right, so let me save it. Let me clear it, and let me expand the calculator so you can see. The same thing I'm showing you now, is the same thing that's in the ebook. Each step, I tell you what to press, so you know what to press, so you can do the same exact steps. I don't care if you do the same problem over and over again until you understand it. Because why? Guess what? Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something just real quick. Just real quick. Remember I told you that storing a variable? Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Because I need to show you. I need you to understand. X squared minus 5x. Let me see. 5. Let's do plus 6. No, let's do no. Hold on. Let me make one up.
You need, if you need another function, I got another.
No, so I'm gonna do. You gonna give me another one? Give me another
one. I got a whole worksheet right here.
Give me another one.
You got G parentheses X equals 3X. Take away 3, find G parentheses -6.
They're not, first of all, none of them gonna be this easy on the GED. But they are gonna be this easy on the GED. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. What do you mean they're not going to be this easy, but they're going to be this easy? Because once you know how to store a variable, I don't care what type of problem they give you, it should take you 15 seconds. Watch. I'm going to show you. Watch. That means X is -6. -6 store X, enter 3X -3. Bam, I'm done. Minus 21. That's how easy it can be, but you have to know how to do it.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's it. You just got to be able to know how to do it. So when you practice enough in the ebook, I'm going to give you enough practice problems. So then when you take your practice test on Schoology and you're going through these problems, what you'll notice is the more you take these practice tests, the more at ease you will see. So when you see a problem, like for example, watch this, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you two problems where people have the most issues. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Hold on. Let me show you something. Let me try to find it real quick. I would hate to make up one. Let me just try to find one real quick.
I got more.
No, you shouldn't even. First of all, what you should be saying is now I don't need any more right now.
Oh,
Because
no.
now I know how to do it. I don't need it. I can do all of them. So what you should be saying is you should be sending me an email. So I can't put that. That's actually practicing. That was I thought. All right, I'm gonna have to make one up real quick. It don't matter. I'm gonna make one up. I'm gonna say 5x squared, and this might I'm just gonna make it up. 8x. I would hate. You know what? Hold on. Let me do one that
was
works
one
first.
problem I actually did, and it turned into a quadratic equation.
Right. Let me just do one real quick. So 2x squared minus 10x plus 3x is minus 7x minus 15. All right, so we're gonna do this one right here. 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. So what I did was, understand what I did. I just made up two binomials. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times minus 5 is minus 10x. 3 times x is plus 3x. So there are two like terms. So I got minus 10x and plus 3x. That's minus 7x. Plus 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. What you should be seeing when you come into these classes, you on my YouTube videos, you should start seeing patterns. You should start seeing connections. You should start seeing these things over and over. You should see when you multiply binomials, most of the time on the GED, you're going to get a quadratic equation. You should see when they tell you to factor a quadratic equation, how to get those answers. So I know the answers to this. I know the answers are minus 3/2 and plus 5. Those are the solutions. Why? Because I was in Mr. Tinsley's ebook, and he told me how to, if they give me a factored form of a quadratic equation, I know how to find the zeros. Why? Because I'm going to take the opposite of this, which is minus 3, and I'm going to put it over the coefficient of the x. That's my first solution. So we know the first solution is minus 3/2. And then the other zero, the opposite of minus 5, is plus 5. So these are the two solutions to this quadratic equation. So when they ask you to solve this quadratic equation, they might have these answers. So I'm going to tell you two things. Watch this. Watch this. Boom. I'm going to move this out, and I'm going to solve this because they might have something harder than this. They might have something they might have something so hard you don't even know what to do. But what I'm telling you is it doesn't matter. If you go through this ebook, what you're going now, we already know the answer. So let me put this over here. We already know the answers already, so I can have room for my calculator. And I'm gonna erase this. Watch this. It doesn't matter what quadratic equation, because if you immerse yourself in this ebook and you know and you follow these lessons and you understand them, because if you don't understand them, you should be asking me on Mondays. But watch this. Everybody should know by now, if you don't know, the standard form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So if I look at the coefficients right here, this should tell me my a, b, and c right here. So my a is 2. My b is minus 7. My c is minus 15. Now, I'm going to show you something. Watch this. 2 store a. Enter. Minus 7 store b.
Not yet.
Enter. Minus 15 store c. Right? The quadratic formula is on my formula sheet. So I'm gonna go here. Minus b, and this comes from practice. But if you practice enough, it doesn't matter what quadratic equation they give you, because you'll be prepared. Watch this. B squared minus 4ac Watch this. I'm going to do it for you so you can see the magic all over 2a. Watch this. Now, we already know our answers. It's either -3/2 or +5. Watch this. Enter. Got my first solution. Already done. 30 seconds. I'm going to get my second solution. I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to change that minus, that plus sign to a minus sign. Minus. Bam. There you go. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm giving you the blueprint. You can believe me or not believe me. But if you see all those, oh, he passed the GED. I don't put those notifications for no reason. That's a reinforcement to each and every one of you that if you go through this ebook and you practice, that you are going to pass. There is no doubt. There's no doubt. I'm 100% in the last 8 years. There is no doubt. But you got to put the sweat equity in. You got to make sure you understand that you go through the ebook and understand each section. You got to understand why something happens. So if you have a question, that you come to the Monday class or you send me an email. Mr. Tennessee, I didn't understand that. Could you please show me? Oh, yes, I will. Now, I'm going to clear it so you can see every step of the way. Every step of the way. You can watch this video over and over again, but I go step by step right in the book. How many people have tried to use the quadratic formula to solve a problem that's taking you 10 minutes and you still got it wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
I gave you how to do it. The hardest problem on your exam. I showed you how to do it in a minute. In a minute. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. Hold on. Let me ask you something, Mr. Tinsley. Hold on. But you know what? Sometimes they give me multiple choice, Mr. Tinsley. Sometimes they give me multiple choice. So let me go back and undo. Hold on. I want to show you. I want to show you. What I'm telling you is right. Watch this. So they gave me multiple choice, Mr. Tinsley. So they said A. Uh-oh. I'm losing my internet connection here.
Oh, don't do that.
Hold on. Here we go. Say they gave me A, B, C, D. Now, we already know the answers is -3/2 and 5. So say they said, okay, the first is 3/2, and the second part of X is 5. Then he said the second one is -3/2 and -5. The third one is the right answer, -3/2 and 5. Listen, what they want you to do is solve this using the quadratic formula. But if they give you the answers, do you know what an equation means? That means on both sides, they have to be equal. So if I know the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, I know any value that I put in for x, when I'm done, it must be 0. If that's what the standard form is. Now, they could throw you off and say equal 9. That means anything on the left must equal 9. Standard form says I'm equal to 0. Watch this. I'm going to move all these over again because I need you to see and I need you to understand. I didn't create this book for my health. I didn't create it because I want accolades. I created this book so you can pass your math exam, so you can get into college, you can get that promotion, you can get that new job. That's what I did it for. So if somebody is coming from the heart, I'm coming from the heart to let you know that if you put the hard work in, I'm going to help you pass. What do you need to do? You need to put that hard work in to make sure you pass. Because I can't take the test for you. You have to walk in there and take that exam. So you have to put the hard work in. Watch this, though. I'm going to show you something. Let me clear this out. So I got my multiple choice, and I look at this crazy hard quadratic equation. So, but I know how to store a variable because Mr. Tinsley just showed me. Not only did he just show me, I went over the video over and over till I knew how to store a variable. Okay, half, ND, 3/2, store X. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. You can store fractions. You can store anything. You can store whole numbers, sign numbers, fractions, decimals. It doesn't matter. You can store it in. So 3/2. Now I'm going to plug it into this equation. 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Do I get 0? No, I do not. So I know A is not the answer. I don't even have to check to see if 5 is the answer. I'm going to go to B and put minus 3/2 in. Again, ND minus 3 over 2. I could put store X, enter, minus 3 halves. I go back up into my quadratic equation. 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Do I get 0? Yes. So I know right away minus 3 halves is a solution. So I know it's not A, but it could be B or C. So now I have to check that second one, minus 5. Minus 5, store X. Go back up into my quadratic equation, press enter. Do I get 0?
No.
Did I get 0? No.
No.
Guess what? I know it's not B. I know my answer is C. I'm done. Did I factor anything? Did I plug anything in to the quadratic formula? No. Did I take
No.
5 to 7 minutes to solve it? No.
No.
But what you have to do is you have to put the hard work to understand when to use and how to use this calculator. Because once you can do that, you'll be able to, most people, once you go through this ebook, finish the GED math exam with 40 to 60 minutes left in the exam.
Damn.
Now, why? It's because I'm telling you, easy, medium, hard. If you get to a difficult problem, flag it for review, skip it. You have to listen to my advice. When you get to a difficult problem, flag it for review, skip it. Why? Because you know the next problem is easy. And you know you're going to be able to do that. Most people, once they finish the exam, they had that 40 minutes, 60 minutes left. Now they go back to the difficult problems. And what happens is now that you build your self-esteem, you build your confidence, because now you skip the hard ones. So you may have gotten 4, 5, 6 correct straight. Now you're feeling good about yourself. So now you can face those difficult problems and they don't seem as hard. All right, so now I could be talking all day. What's next? Give me another problem that you had you need some difficulty and you had some difficulty. We say, but again, functions. You're going to have to do 2 things for a function. You're going to have to evaluate a function, similar to this, f of x equal x squared minus 3x, find f of minus 8. Or they might give it to you like this. What is the value of f of x equal 3x squared plus 4 when x equal minus 3? Or they may give it to you in a word problem. They may give it to you something like this. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. Well, what's the difference between an equation and a function? Remember what I told you. For every x, there's only one y. That's what makes something a function. That's it. So if you see this, it's no confusion. It says functions shown in different ways. So now they gave you a word problem in words, and then they gave you an equation. So my first equation is C equal 22n plus 12. My second equation, read it carefully. One website charges $25 per t-shirt. So if I got 1 t-shirt, 24 times 1. If I got 2 t-shirts, 24 times 2. So I know that's 24n.
Yes.
Plus 8. Because the shipping doesn't matter. That's a constant. That's not changing. No matter how many t-shirts you order, they're going to charge you $8 plus $8 shipping. So now you have your 2 functions, right? C equal 22n plus 12, C equal 24n plus 12. But they didn't tell you, remember I always tell you, identify what they're giving you. So they gave you 2 functions, but then they said printing in t-shirts. The variable n is the number of t-shirts. So when they tell you that you order in 10, that's telling you n is equal to 10. And they want to know the difference in the cost. So you plug 10 in. 22 times 10 plus 12, 24 times 10 plus 8. 220 plus 12, 240 plus 8. 232, 248. They want to find the difference. That's subtraction. 248 minus 232, 16. Something that looked like a hard problem, it's not that difficult. So you have to be ready. You have to be ready. And this is why I'm telling you, I know the test on Schoology can be difficult. I know the first time you score, you might get a 30 or a 20 or 40. But it's no reason to get discouraged. It's no reason to say, I'm not taking that again. I don't know what I'm doing. No, what that should tell you is I'm not ready to take this exam. I need to practice more. So you know what? I had a problem with this type of problem with finding the slope between 2 points. So let me go into Schoology and just focus on slope from 2 points. Let me do enough problems with that so I understand that. Okay, let me go back to my practice test. What's next? Okay, what's the equation of this line from 2 points? Okay, let me go back and practice that. But do it manually, use your calculator. Because what you should be doing when you get to your test is you should be using your calculator. The only 5 that you cannot use your calculator on is the first 5. That means you should at least be using your calculator on 20 of the remaining 40 problems. At least 20, if not more, but at least 20. Well, Mr. Tennessee, how many do you need to pass? If there's 45 problems, right? And you need 55%, 55 to 58%, you're going to say, okay, I need about 20, 24, 23, 24. So if you already know how many you need and you use the calculator for 20 and you got your first 5 right, that's simple math. I'm listen. I'm going to give you every tip that I have to pass this exam. What I need you to do is I need you to be uncomfortable. Hold on, Mr. Tennessee. Why would you need me to be uncomfortable? I need you to be so uncomfortable until you're comfortable. I need you to hate math until you love math. I need you to ball up papers until you can't ball up papers no more. Why? Because that shows me that you learned the concept, that you were so frustrated, but you stuck with it until you got it. And then once you got it, now you build up your confidence and self-esteem. And once you prove to yourself that you thought you couldn't do it, guess what? The world opens up. The world opens up. But this is just not about math. This is about life. Once you overcome something that's your biggest fear, the world is going to open up to you. The world is going to open up. All right, so what's next? What's somebody got something next for me? What's next?
Yeah, I have one.
What's that?
It's system of equations. Now, we was doing a problem like this. It was negative 6x plus 6y is that equals negative 6, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. And then it had the second one was negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 12.
Okay.
Now,
So remember, I gave you 3 things to look for for the GED, not just for the GED. The GED is usually going to have one of the variables cancel already.
yeah.
2 of the variables exact same.
Yeah.
Or a multiple. So in this case, you see that the x's are exactly the same. So in order to cancel something, for example, what is the opposite of minus 6?
It's plus.
Plus 6. So you know that right away. You should know the opposite of a positive number to negative, because if you know that automatically, that means I got to change this second equation for that minus 6x to be plus 6x. Well, how do you change a minus to a plus? Multiply it by a negative. Since I don't want to change the number, that means I'm going to multiply it by negative 1. If I multiply by negative 1, watch what happens. I'm going to show you the magic. 6x plus 6y equal negative 6. If I multiply by negative 1, this minus becomes a plus. This plus becomes a minus. This minus becomes a plus. Those are the small things that you have to understand. If you multiply an equation by a negative 1, it changes the sign of everything inside. So now, when I combine these, my x's cancel. I get 3y is equal to 6. This is a one-step algebraic equation. Divide both sides by 3. Y is equal to 2.
Now,
I'm not done. I'm not done, because you have to understand what a system of equation is. A system of equation is a point which satisfies both equations. So it's going to be a point that intersects both lines. So you got an x value and a y value. So that means you need a point, x comma y. I don't have my x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this w equal 2 into one of these equations. So let's plug it into the first one. Minus 6x plus 6 times 2 equal minus 6. Does everybody understand where I plug that 2 in right there? So minus 6x plus 12 equal negative 6. You should be familiar with one-step and two-step equations.
Yes.
In order to get x by itself, I have to get rid of what?
You have to get rid of the 12.
How do I get rid of the 12?
You minus the 12 on both sides.
Minus the 12 on both sides. So if I got minus 6x, the 12's cancel. Equal what? What's minus 6 minus 12?
18, negative 18.
Negative 18. In order to get the x by itself, what do I need to do?
Divide.
No,
Divide by what?
That's 3.
6.
It comes up the answer will be 3.
Divide by what? No, what he did was he did 2 steps ahead.
Yes,
he gave me the answer. What I asked was, what in order to get the x by itself, what do I need to divide by?
You gotta divide by 6.
Yes,
what kind of 6?
Quick. Negative.
Negative 6. Okay, so the 2 negative 6 cancel. I get x is equal to 2 negatives make a what?
Positive.
What's 18 divided by 6?
3.
3. So the point that satisfies this system of equations in parentheses, remember, every point is x comma y. So 3 comma 2. So this is 3. This is 2. The point in which satisfies this system of equations is 3 comma 2. If you understand what a system of equation is, then you can make sense of all this.
Mr. Tinley, my problem with it was it wasn't how that process of it. It was the process of which one do you make, make to turn positive to do the whole problem. That's what I was.
So it don't matter.
Okay.
Watch this. I'm gonna prove it to you. It don't matter what I'm gonna prove it to you.
Okay. I got another one too. Go ahead.
So again, it doesn't matter. All you're doing, I'm gonna plug it into this one now. So minus 6x plus 3 times 2 equal minus 12. Minus 6x plus 6 equal negative 12. Minus 6 minus 6 minus 6x equal negative 18. Divide by minus 6, divide by minus 6, x is still equal to 3.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what equation you use. Now, watch this. Now, watch this. I'm gonna take it a step further.
Well, take it.
I'm gonna take it a step further because I need each and every one of you. When you leave this session tonight, you're gonna say, Mr. Tinsley is the key for me passing this exam. I'm gonna take what he say to heart. I'm gonna make sure. So I'm gonna say A is let's say it's 3 minus 2. Oops, hold on. I need to have parentheses because it's a point. So 3 comma minus 2. B is minus 3 minus 2. C is minus 3, 2. And then D is 3 comma 2. Okay. We already know the answer is D. We already know the answer. But what I'm showing you is this is a way you can solve a system of equations without even doing all that math. If they give you the answers, listen, you gotta listen to me. You gotta hear me. If they give you the multiple choice, one of those answers is the answer. So if you know how to plug into using this calculator, you don't have to even do all that work. Watch this. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove it to you. Proof is in the pudding. That's what my dad used to tell me. Proof is in the pudding. Watch this. X is 3, Y is 2. Watch this. So I'm gonna say 3 store X, enter. Minus 2 store Y, enter. I'm gonna plug in my first equation. Minus 6X plus 6Y. If those values work for that equation, I should get negative 6. Does everybody understand that? Because what's on the other side of the equal? Minus 6. I'm gonna hit enter. Did I get minus 6?
No, you got minus 30.
So it's no need for me to get A is not it. Oops, let me change that color. Cross it out. A is not it. So I'm gonna go to B. Already, so now I'll do the same thing. I already have it. So again, -3 store X, enter, -2 store Y, enter. I'm gonna go back up into that first equation, -6X plus 6Y. I need to see what again?
-6.
-6. Did I get -6?
No.
So I know it's not B. Did I do any algebra yet?
No.
I didn't do any algebra yet. So now
You
I
just
already
plugged
know
them
it's
in.
not. I already know X is not -3, but the problem is I still got to plug in both because my X and Y is two different values. So I'm going to go to the third one. -3 store X, 2 store Y. I'm gonna go back up to my first equation, -6X plus 6Y. What should I get when I press enter?
-6.
Did I get -6?
No.
I already know now that the answer is D because there's
3 and
nothing left.
2.
But guess what? I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm still gonna prove it to you because I want to show you that it works. Well, I want to show you that what Mr. Tinsley is telling you is the correct way. Watch this. So 3 store X, enter, 2 store Y, enter. I'm gonna go to my first equation. I should get what when I finish?
-6.
Did I get -6?
Yes, you did.
But guess what? Remember what a system of equation is. You got to test it with both equations. So I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna go to the second equation.
I'll do 2.
-6X plus 3Y. If those two values are valid for this equation, what should I get?
That'll be -12.
Stop playing. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Did I do any algebra?
No, I like it like this.
Did I multiply by a negative number?
No.
Did I combine like terms?
No.
Did I solve for X? I didn't do any of it. But let me tell you something. You have to understand what you're doing first. So if you understand what you're doing first, when you get to use the calculator, it will make sense.
Yeah.
And then it'll be easy. So let me take a screenshot and let me clear it. And let me put this the calculator so you can see. I don't know if it's gonna fit all those steps. It might not. It won't fit all of them. So I'm gonna have to take one screenshot. And then I'm going to scroll down to get the other screenshot, to get the last one. There we go. But again, all of this is available, and I'm showing you in the ebook. Now, how many system of equation problems you're going to have? You're going to have 1 or 2.
Oh,
That's it. You're going to have 1 or 2. I've already showed you that if you have multiple choice, you got a system of equations, plug them in.
Yeah.
Plug them in, understanding that if you know how to store a variable, with this calculator, that's another 5 problems. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. Hold on. Let me summarize what you just said tonight. You said the first 5 is 5 questions, and most people get 3 of those wrong. So that's 3. Linear equations are going to be 5 to 10 problems. So let's just take average. Let's take 7.5, which is 8. That's 11 questions. Evaluating a function, evaluating the algebraic expression, valid function is going to be 4 problems. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. That's 15 problems. I did the math. I counted with you. That's 15 problems. Well, Mr. Tinsley, I got a 139. I got a 143. I got a 144. So if I focus on those 3 areas, I should be able to pass. That's what you're saying, Mr. Tinsley? That's exactly what I'm saying. Go look at your practice test. Go look at your last test. If you look at the areas that gave you the most problems, work on those areas first. Understand how to do those problems first. Understand how to use the calculator to solve those problems first. Then take a practice test. Use that code I gave you, 50 off or all 50. A practice test on Schoology is free. But if you're not 100% sure whether my tests are going to get you ready, use my code. The GED Ready is only going to cost you half, $3. Take a practice test and see what you got. I guarantee your score is going to improve. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. You keep saying this word guarantee because I've been doing this so long. That's what a guarantee means. That if you don't pass, I guarantee you, I'll give you your money back. This is not about money for me. This is making sure that you pass your exam. I guarantee it. If you give me that half an hour to an hour a day for 30 days, at the end of them 30 days, you're going to pass your exam. It's going to take you about 2 weeks to go through the ebook and take you 2 weeks to practice. But what happens is people don't invest in themselves. Oh, Mr. Tenzi, I got 3 kids. I got to cook. I got to help them with I got to help the kids with their schoolwork. I got to work. I got 2 jobs. So what you should be saying is that those are excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence, and those that use them seldom accomplish anything. What you should be saying is, I got to sacrifice because I want a better job for my kids. I got to sacrifice because I don't want to have to work 2 jobs anymore. Something's going to have to sacrifice. So excuses are tools of incompetence, and those that use them seldom accomplish anything. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop making excuses why you can't do something. Stop making excuses and put the hard work in, because there's no reason why. You came across my YouTube channel, you came across me. There's no reason you ain't gonna pass this math exam. And if you notice, I don't count the science and the RLA and the social studies because my book is on math. But you notice I'm helping people with RLA, social studies, science. It doesn't matter. Why? Because what you realize is you pass the math, the science is cakewalk. The science exam is 45% math. All the cell stuff and organisms that you've been sitting in class for 6 months trying to learn, you don't need it. Definitely understand the math. I'll help you with the science. I'll have you pass the science in a week to 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you're definitely right about the science. The science was super easy.
Okay. So listen, again, I can't tell you what to do, but what I can tell you is that everybody that put sweat equity into studying for this math exam since 2015 that I've helped have passed this exam. That's what I can tell you. If you can listen, I don't think there's anybody in the United States of America that can tell you they're 100% for the last 8 years. There's probably nobody in America that can tell you that. You got them right here in front of you. Don't waste the opportunity. Don't waste. It's a whole lot of people that have bought the ebook and they let it sit. It's too much. This book too long. Okay. I'm telling you, take the time out. Give me a half an hour to an hour a day. I will make everything clear for you to pass this exam. Guaranteed.
That book worked. That book worked, y'all.
Yep. All right. So now it's almost 7. Give me one more problem people need to work with, help with. Give me something else. Give me something else you've been working on.
I don't know. That's what I've been working on.
Let me see if I can find. Let me make one up real quick. Let me see. Let me make one up real quick. Hold on. Let me see. I don't know if this is going to work. But let's see.
I can give you another function question.
No, they easy. I don't even know why you should be looking at them like, oh, they're cakewalk now. I know how to do them. You should be able to go tonight. That was your homework. With your calculator, you should be able to, and I want you to do them by hand and using your calculator.
Yeah.
You should be able to finish every one of those problems in 10 to 15 minutes. And if you can't, that means you need to watch this video again. And then you do them again till you can do them in 10 minutes. Because I gave you the key. Let me just make this over because let me say 5x. That's a minus 5. That's 3x. So I need something with an 18 and minus 5. So minus 5 is a plus 5. I think that should be good. Let me see. Minus 5. Yeah, that should be good. All right. So this is what I've seen a lot of people make a mistake. Okay. What the GED is going to do, they're going to ask you what step is incorrect. Okay, so for example, if I'm solving this problem, what should I do first?
Multiply 5 times x.
What's 5 times x?
5x.
What's 5 times minus 1?
It'd be negative 5.
Negative 5 equal 2x plus 13. That's your first step. That's called the distributive property. You have to know how to use the distributive property. The next step will be to combine like terms. So If I combine like terms here, what should I do? What are like terms? What do I mean by like terms?
5x and the 2x.
5x and the 12. But Mr. Tinsley, they're not on the same side of the equation. Does that matter?
No.
No.
Does not matter. You need to be able to identify like terms. So how can I get this 2x on the same side as the 5x?
Minus 2x on the 2x, then minus
I got to do
5x.
minus 2x. Right, you got to do the opposite operation. So a lot of times in class, people tell you to do the opposite operation, but they're not telling you why. Because you want to combine like terms. So I'm going to subtract 2x, right? So if I subtract 2x, I should get 3x minus 5 equal 13, because the 2x's cancel. Am I right about that? Okay. So now, what's my next step?
Plus
I
5
can't see it.
plus 13.
I need to do what?
You got, wait a minute, you got 3x, you got plus.
You got to do it
No,
plus 5.
wait.
That'd be plus 5.
Got a plus 5, right?
Yeah.
So if I plus 5 to both sides, I should get 3x equal 18, right? But in what they're going to do in the GED is they're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So they have 3x equal 8. This is the wrong step. This is where they made their mistake. This is where they should have added 5 to both sides instead of subtracted 5 from both sides. So when they ask you to select which one where the mistake was made, is part C. What I saw, what I've seen, I downloaded like 5 different practice tests. This is an area people have problems with. Again, understand the distributive property, combining like terms, solving for x. Now, if I wanted to solve for x, I need to divide both sides by what? I'm on the right side now. I'm over here. Divide by 3. The 3's cancel. The reason why you're dividing by 3 is because 3x means 3 multiplied by x. The opposite of multiplication is division. That's why we're dividing by 3. And because you need to balance the equation, whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. So if I divide on one side by 3, I got to divide the other side by 3. The 3's cancel because 3 divided by 3 is 1. That's why they cancel. Because anything divided by itself is 1. Anything times 1 is itself. So x times 1 is just x. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay? Now, listen to what I'm telling you tonight. Tonight, this GED Math Monday tonight just gave you 7 problems on your exam.
Oh, I like that. I can do them.
It gave you 7 problems on your exam. Why? So how to evaluate a function. You're going to have one of those, 1 or 2 of those. How to evaluate an algebraic expression. You're going to have 1 or 2 of those. How to store a variable to solve a quadratic equation. You're going to have 1 or 2 of those.
Wow.
Listen, all these concepts are connected. The only way you're going to see that connection is if you practice. So that first time you got a 20, the second time you took it, you got a 45. The third time you took it, you got a 53. The fourth time you took it, you got a 65. The fifth time you took it, you got an 80. Move to the next test. But now, because you went through so much turmoil on that first test, now what's going to happen is when you take that second practice test, you're not going to be starting at a 20, you're going to be starting at a 50. Now, when you go back over, that 50 is going to change to a 65. And then that third test, you're going to be over 70 or 80. Now you're going to go to the third test. Now you're not going to start at a 20. You're not going to start at a 40. You're not going to start at a 50. This is what happens as you go through them. So what you should see is you should see an incremental improvement. So when you're consistently on my exams, scoring over a 60, schedule your one-on-one with me. We're going to go take the exam. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley, only a 60? Yes. Why? Because most of the GED is multiple choice. If you look at my exams, I got a lot of fill-ins. I want to know if you know it for sure. A lot of times, as you're taking these practice tests on Schoology, what you'll notice is you'll know how to eliminate 2 of those multiple choice right away to get down to 50-50. If you know how to use that calculator, some of those hard problems you'll be able to do in 1 minute, a minute and a half, 30 seconds. and it'll give you the confidence and boosting self-esteem that you need to be able to knock this exam out. Telling you. So it's almost 7 o'clock. And I always tell you, me and my son watch the games. They don't stay with me no more. So let me stop the recording real quick. Okay, let me stop the recording.